Yeah, we're good to go, man.
All right. It's great to see you finally. Wow.
Been a while.
I'm super excited and a little bit nervous because I'm just really honored to be on here with you because I know there's a lot of things going on. I know you're traveling the world and you're taking care of your listings and doing everything that you do. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate it.
No, it's my privilege, man. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun today catching up, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear about your progress on your project too, and kind of how things have been developing now. Now that the property for a while, so yeah, really looking forward to it.
Oh yeah. Well, you and Stephanie are now in France right now, or you were in Belize?
Yeah, so right now we're in the northern part of France. We're actually
Okay.
doing some charity work. We're teaching adult French students English.
All right.
Yeah, so we're
Nice.
just doing a little bit of charity work, unpaid volunteer work, and yeah, it's very rewarding. So
Wow.
I've
Wow.
been doing quite a bit of this lately. Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll talk to you sometime about I don't speak French. I should speak French because my mom's side of the family, but we'll talk about that over a Belgian one day or something.
Sounds good. I'd love it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you so much. And you know, just to kind of update you, man, a lot's been going on. So I'm gonna just kind of shrink it down. This YouTube channel has just been something I wanted to do just to document this for our family. And it's kind of morphed into, something really beautiful, something really great, and we're having a lot of fun with it. And it's just something for me to really enjoy the process, because in my mind, in my trying to capture my piece of paradise, I'm always, and in my whole life, basically, I'm always thinking about, what's next, or when we get this, or when this happens, or in a couple years, this will be great. But I'm just trying to enjoy right now, you know? And so the YouTube channel is really helping me do that, and just also connect with the community there more, and just and I have to keep reminding myself the main reason. It's just we're just almost just doing this like a document for our family, but hey, why not take everybody else on the journey with us? Because I think what we're doing is super, super unique. And it's just so cool. I don't want to do all the talking, but
No.
just the fact that I was able to, meet you and get that first property, and then the second and the third property is just the blessing amongst all blessings. To have my best friend buy the property next door, and then our other friend buy that next peninsula, that end property, the creme de la creme, that beautiful property. I still can't believe we have all that whole peninsula. I still try to just pinch myself. And thank you first and foremost to you and Israel, for making those second two purchases, come to fruition. But I really wanted to just allow our viewers to really get a view of, who you are and what you do for people like me, and not just investors or people who want to own property. But I think, let me digress just a little bit. I think one of the reasons I really connected with you is because you really cater to those dreamers, and I'm a dreamer. And you might not know this. This is what I took from it, and I'm a dreamer. I'm a researcher, and all those things. So I want to kind of talk about, maybe I can talk about all day how we met, but I think it's unique to actually find a real estate agent on YouTube. I'm from the States, from the Seattle area, and we're used to MLS. We used to, we can even go to the county records and pull up public records if we want. All those things are a little bit more cumbersome if you do it yourself in a foreign country. So having you has just been so valuable, and I feel like I've just gotten so much free stuff. You don't get all this from you real estate agents in the United States. They sell you the property and then they say goodbye until you're ready to buy or sell again. You may become happy relationship, hopefully you do, with your real estate agent, but you don't really need them until you need them. But
Right.
you've been just providing so many resources for me. And just that first list you gave me, you just give me this head start and I'm taking off. Man, that first list
Oh,
you
that's
gave me of the
awesome.
contractors and the architects, and from
Yeah.
those people I've met, and I've got other recommendations, and it just keeps branching off into more relationships and people that I'm meeting. And with that comes all those little holes and pieces and things that I've been thinking about. So anyway, enough of me. So
No, no, that's good. That's a good way to start it off. So let me kind of address the whole difference between a U.S. realtor or Canadian realtor and one in
yeah,
Belize,
yeah,
because there are massive differences. So, for example, if you guys were going to relocate, let's say to Orlando, you would do a little research on your own, and you would identify some neighborhoods or some schools that you would want to be nearby, or some, larger services and amenities. And you would go into that area and find a real estate that, probably one of the top real estate, houses in that area, Keller Williams, Remax, someone like that.
mhm,
And, that real estate agent would know his market in terms of what homes are selling for, per square foot, if there's any vacant lots available, things like that. But you're going to use your US realtor as a resource pretty much strictly to buy a house. You're not going to use them for much more than that.
yeah,
Whereas in Belize, now imagine on any given week, through our social media, websites, YouTube channel, all of these little fingers we have out there reaching people around the world. What comes into my email inbox is hundreds and hundreds of emails. Some people are just curious, what is Belize about? I saw a TV show on Belize, or this celebrity just went to Belize, so I started to Google it. They just have some questions. They might not even want to buy. They're just kind of bouncing around, looking for opportunities, looking for things. And you start to develop a relationship, but you got to decide real quick, out of these hundreds of emails per week, who needs my attention, who's serious, who can I provide value to. And new real estate agents in Belize, they get burnt out really quick, because they realize the size of the funnel that comes in, what trickles down at the end. You have some buyers at the end, but the buyers trickle down after months and years, and sometimes 5 or 10 years after the initial contract.
right,
So, what I think a good agent will do is they will start to provide some sort of information channel that helps bring people up to speed on Belize, not just real estate. So the questions I get is, what is the cost of living? What is the safety and crime like? What is the healthcare like? What is they got these top 20 or 30 questions. Whereas a U.S. real estate agent would never be asked the question, what is healthcare like in Orlando? Or,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
moving down with 3 kids. How do I move my dog and cat there? It's like,
yeah,
but as a Belize real estate agent, you have to know all of these things. You have to know the builders. You have to know, how do you get permits? How do you start a business? How do you get trade license? All that kind of stuff.
mhm,
And so, we do have to do a lot more work. And so because of that, we tend to really know our markets. So
yeah,
I'm doing
yeah,
this now, like I said, living full time in Ambergris Caye since 2006.
mhm,
Now splitting my time between France, south of France, and Belize. Whole other story. But yeah. So anyway, so when you came into the picture and we met, we started talking. You're right. I mean, thankfully I was able to provide you with not just a piece of real estate, which is fine, but also with what you needed to get going, things you need to think about as you start to develop the property. And just to comment about your friends buying, I mean, this is something really cool, because
yeah,
as we grow up in life, we got friends we meet in high school, friends in university or college, friends that we might work with. But over time, we move away, they move away.
yeah,
And very rarely do we have a good friend of ours buy the house next door to us in the
yeah,
States. It just,
yeah, yeah,
you're even in the same neighborhood, right? But
yeah,
in Belize, you'd be surprised how many people buy in Belize, and then all of a sudden, they tell their friends about it. Hey, you should buy the one next door to me. We can be
oh,
neighbors.
that's very cool. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's one of
yeah,
those unique places. Like where else in the world does that happen?
I
Where
know,
you
right?
have groups
Yeah,
of friends owning
yeah,
in this little island, the same little neighborhood. So I think it's
yeah.
really cool.
That's funny that I might even run into somebody that has that same story, somewhere, that would be
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I
Absolutely.
don't know if
Yeah.
you remember some of the conversations I had with you. Absolutely had to have beachfront. And
Yeah.
there was nothing available. And I was gonna, my plan B was Mahogany Bay Village. I just wanted something to pull the boat up into. I just wanted something to pull the boat. I don't have a boat right now, but it's a dream of mine. Okay. And then you said, no, let me, I think I have something for you. And not only my lot, but all three of the lots weren't actually for sale.
Right. Correct.
And I could not have, no one could have done that. No one could have known that unless they had the relationship. And you and Israel have the relationships that was able to make that happen. And again, I thank you so much for pulling that together for us, because it was an amazing deal that came just rabbit out of the hat. And for me, for you, it's just everyday business. And then it was beachfront. It was everything I wanted. It didn't have road. It was no road access, which was twofold. It was good because I didn't care. I just wanted a boat dock, and because it was road access, it was something I could afford.
Yeah, right. I mean, if that lot would have had road access and power and all those other things that people think that are necessary, that would have been 2 or 3 times the price at least. The reason you got it in such a good deal because it was in the path of progress, and it is just across the split from North Secret Beach. So you have all that, and plus just the sheer size. I mean, when you look at the plot maps for most of San Pedro, you're looking at 60 by 80, 60 by 100 lots.
Right.
You got at least double or triple that. It's just really the amount of land you got plus the waterfront for that price was really good.
Yeah. So and talk a little bit about the purchase. It's good timing because I just put out that purchase video, and I was talking about this 10-10-10 program, and I told the viewers it's not a program. I just called it. I have to call it something, but it's something that's typical that buyers like myself can take advantage of when we're talking about seller financing. And I did talk about a mortgage, which not too many people do, and I talked about cash, which we did take advantage of on the third lot, but we took advantage of on the first 2 lots was the seller financing. So tell our viewers a little bit about that. And it's great coming from you, because I talk a lot about you. So now it's great for our viewers to actually see you and hear from you. And it's like, see, Eric's not just talking about to be talking. Here's the guy, Dennis Caye. So thanks, Dennis. Go. Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, so in Belize, Belize is basically a cash market. There are banks in Belize that will loan, like you put out in your video, on properties. There's a couple banks that can work through, but honestly, in the 15 years I've been doing business, I've had 3 clients do bank financing. So 3 clients in 15 years.
Yeah.
So either you have to bring cash to the table, or you have some sellers where, okay, I have a property, I want to sell, and I might need to sell for many reasons. Maybe one reason is I just need to raise, 30 or 40 grand to put my kid in college this year. Or I want to invest in my, second property in the States or buy a boat. Okay, I don't need all the money right now, but I'll take some, and then I'll take payments. And that's a great way to sell in Belize, because, a lot of people want to buy property. They don't have all the cash up front, especially if they want to get something a little bit, I would say more expensive. More expensive comes with probably closer to the water or beachfront, right? So like what you got, the seller offering financing enabled you guys to get a bigger piece of property on the water, where if that wasn't available to you, maybe you would have had to go with something off beach, right? So seller financing Belize works as a win-win for both the seller and the buyer. I mean, the seller's happy, they make a little interest rate. The buyer's happy because it's a stopgap measure where they can buy at today's prices, knowing prices are drastically going up all over the island, especially for waterfront. So it allows you to buy the property at today's prices, and then you can pay it off whenever you want. There's no prepayment penalties. You can 6 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever the length of the loan is, but you decide when you have the funds to pay it off. It could be you're selling up your primary home in the States, or you're cashing out a 401k, whatever. Whenever you get that chunk of money to pay it off, you can go ahead and do so, but it allows you to at least to buy at today's prices.
Yeah. And since we're on that piece, talk about once it is paid off, you have to pay that stamp tax, right? Is that what it's called?
Yep.
8%? 8%?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I haven't paid that yet. I'm going to have to pay it. when I pay my property off. And like the third lot, my friend who bought the third lot, she paid cash for hers, and she paid that stamp tax in the sale. Yeah, so that's important to know. I mean, that could be a big surprise. 8% of, I think her deal was like 250, you know, cash for that. So yeah, that was nice.
So let me talk on that for a bit. So what the government of Belize does is, first of all, a very, very small country. You're looking at 350,000 people. Government doesn't have a lot of money at all. But the way the government makes their money is through import tax. So anything you bring into the country, whether it be a boat, a car, a pair of designer jeans, technically, supposed to pay 50% of the value to the Belize government as import tax. The other major tax is this 8% tax. Whenever real estate transfers to another person, it's 8% of the purchase price. Now, what that enables them to do, though, is keep property taxes extremely low. So once you own the property, your cost to keep it is almost nothing. Like on your lot, what is it, like maybe
$75 or something?
75 bucks a year?
Yeah.
For waterfront. Yeah. So property taxes are extremely low. Income taxes are extremely low. There's no capital gains tax in Belize. So Belize does a really good job of, once you're set up, taxes are very low. But if you have the money to buy a piece of real estate worth, $250,000, well then you pay that one-time fee. It's a one-time fee, and that's it. And you're done. You just figure makes sense. And you look at a lot of part of the world, here even in France, I think you have a 6 or 8% stamp tax on all transfer of land. So this is not uncommon, but especially in the country of Belize, it helps fund the government and it helps keep other taxes low. Right.
Well, that's a really good point. Now, the other piece, I think on the purchase thing, so we have, like you said, we have those three options. Most people take advantage of either cash or seller financing. And then now, where we are right now in our lot, and I think for not just for to talk about what I'm doing, but how it can help other people. Just to kind of wrap up the purchase deal, the 10-10-10 discussion. My friends, he did financing. He did 10%, 10. He basically 10-10-10. On my specific situation, I did 15% down, because that's what the seller wanted, and so in my situation with the $150,000 sale price at 15, I think it came to like $30,000. Okay. And so some would say, well, and I mentioned that in the video, some would say, well, that's not 10-10-10, but it's kind of some variation of that, correct? And it depends on what the seller wants, and it's usually something I felt it wasn't really a hard negotiation type of situation. Number one, he wasn't selling, and so basically we just had to agree upon something. Sure. And it was just kind of a yes or no situation. And then in the other two lots, for Kamal's lot, it was the same thing. Yeah. But it happened to be just 10% down for him. Okay. And then in the cash deal, Israel and I kind of negotiated that. That was a little bit more negotiation on that one. Probably because it was a cash deal, maybe. But I hopefully I'll get a chance to interview Israel as well, because that guy was a rock star on that deal. We were just like, because here's a quick story. I always saw that lot, the first thing I saw when I saw my lot is I saw that lot. It's like, wow, it'll be nice. But I'm grateful for what I have. Don't be greedy. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. But then, just real quickly, my friend Kamal bought the lot next to me just out of pure excitement. And then sight unseen. And I did sight unseen too. And remind me, I want you to talk about that. And we'll kind of maybe wrap it up with that, because that's kind of a real big point. And then my other friend, as you know, her name wants to be, she wants to stay anonymous, for whatever reasons. And, that's cool. And she's become like my little sister now. We're all really great friends. So they work together in the IT world here in the Seattle area, right? She heard about what Kamal was doing, got so excited. I want to buy some property too. Kamal wanted to buy right next door to me. I didn't think that was going to happen. We made it happen. She wanted to buy, and I said, well, you want to buy on the other side of Kamal? Because I was thinking that peninsula property, no way. That's no way. I'm not even going to try. And then I thought, well, let's just, all they can say is no. And then in Israel knew the people, had the relationship again. And I still don't believe it. I have to kind of look at the paperwork still and see we got that one too. So anyway, all three of us bought all three of us bought this sight unseen.
Right.
I felt totally
you had
comfortable.
never been to Belize.
Never. I've never been to Belize. Never. But Dennis, I've researched Belize for about 15 years. I've done so much research. I'm a research nerd. It's a hobby of mine. I love to research. So my buying it sight unseen I was very comfortable with it. Number one reason because of you, because of what I saw. I felt like, some people's like, well, isn't it a scam? You might be buying some swampland or so. You might be, this and that and whatever. My mind, I'm pretty good, judge of character, I would think. And I think just to cover all the scam people out there, I get all these questions too.
Yeah, sure.
But I would just say it had to be a very elaborate hoax, because I basically looked at all your videos from all the years, the 10, 12 years you've been on YouTube. I looked at all of them. How you can look at the YouTube videos, you see the little red line that you've looked at? I've looked at all of them. So, and I've looked at all the testimonials. So I was like, okay, I hired a bunch of actors, right? So anyway, I felt so comfortable in buying sight unseen. Now, my other two friends, they bought sight unseen off of purely my excitement. And, obviously they know me and they trust me. So they basically, they bought it off trust based on my vision and what I laid out for them. And I didn't ask them to buy either. I just happened to just mention it to them. Hey, this is what I did. I want in. I want some too. I just like wait with it. What? Because Kamal is my investment friend. We've invested in the United States for years, but I wasn't asking him. I was just like, hey, this is what I'm doing. So anyway, go ahead and speak to, I know it's not recommended. That's what I'm getting. I know it's not recommended to buy property without coming there and seeing it first. And I don't think I would recommend people to do what I did. But what's your thoughts on that?
So it really depends on what they're buying for. So for example, I get a lot of people who are strictly investors. They have IRAs, they have 401k rollovers, they got money from inheritance. They're just looking for a place to park some money and to grow some money. For them, they don't need to come down and see the exact property, because it's just the numbers have to make sense, right? It's like buying a stock. Like, if you're buying Apple stock or Coca-Cola, you don't go visit the factory. It doesn't matter. You just need to make sure that the investment is good. If you're making a lifestyle investment, like, okay, I'm actually going to move to Belize someday. I want to retire there. I want me and my family to move there. Then I feel the neighborhood is pretty important, because, if you got kids closer to schools, if you want to be on the water, which water, boat access, road access, all the kind of stuff. So, for them, for the lifestyle people, it's like, yeah, come down. Or if they're at an age where they have time to pivot. I have a lot of guys, 30s, 40s, early 50s, that buy sight unseen. In fact, to be honest, about 70% of all my sales are sight unseen. People have never been to Belize before. It's crazy. I mean, my wife still can't believe it. How does this work? I'm like, I don't know. But I guess what you said, longevity in the country, the ability to do your own research. You got drone videos, you got Google Earth, you can do your homework, right? Yeah. So for what you did, I would still recommend that, because when you're talking a large piece of beachfront at a good price with financing, the worst thing that could happen is you got down there, you saw the property, you know what, it's not what you thought, it's not what you wanted. Well, we'll sell it for you. You can go on your merry way or buy something else. So I guess that would be a recommendation.
Yeah, when we first got down there, Israel, we walked through the water, got down there. And my wife, she's not as risk averse as I am, and she's an accountant too. So, she took a minute and looked around and gave me a kiss and said, "You did good, honey. You did good."
Oh man, that's awesome.
And then to make it even better, the next time we came down with Kamal and I'm gonna call her Becky. Kamal and Becky. They got very emotional.
Oh.
We took a moment. We prayed there in the water, held hands, three of us, and it was a moment. Yeah, it was wonderful. Yeah. So again, thank you again for giving us our little slice of paradise. Yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah,
Privilege.
yeah. But that's all I had for you for today.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll be talking again.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. We're looking forward to seeing the next steps and what you guys do with the property. And yeah, it's good. You know what? It's going to be something really special because there isn't much like that on the island. You know, when I tell people, when you're looking at these different neighborhoods and different areas, spend a couple hours on Google Earth and actually zoom in and look. This little peninsula where you're at is something really special. And yeah, to get that whole tip, you guys did well.
And then the new Google Earth is out, you know, the Google Earth Pro desktop. And I actually can see, I know it's new because my land is cleared.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So I know it's updated.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Well, if you don't have anything, Dennis, thank you. Thank you again. And I'm very much looking forward to finally maybe, you know, I know we keep missing each other down there in Belize. And I've been a couple times now. I'm going to try to get down there again in September. I'm turning 60 and I'm trying to plan a 60th birthday party, Dennis.
Oh, wow. You don't look it, man. You're in good shape.
Thank you. And I'm planning on Belize to keep it that way.
Awesome. Well, hey, man, keep in touch and we'll see you soon.
All right. Give Stephanie our love.
I will. All right. Cheers.
All right. Cheers. Bye-bye.